everybody, I'm the Big Easy Chef. I'd like to show you how to make brown and serve rolls. Now, can you just imagine a roll hot out of the oven? Now think about opening up that roll, putting some butter on it, watching that butter melt. Now think about taking a big old bite out of that roll. Hello, I said you could take a bite out of that roll. There, that's better. Now, this is my very own recipe for these brown and serve rolls. And the good thing about it is they're easy to make, they taste great, and they even have some healthy ingredients in them. So why don't you and I run over into the kitchen, see what's shaking, and get to baking. The first thing you need to do to get started is take your mixing bowl and run some hot water in it. You want to warm up the bowl. Use water that's about 120 degrees. Now dump that water out. Okay, now it's time for the ingredients. Start by adding 2 3/4 cup of water that's heated to 110 degrees. You can use a thermometer to check the temperature. Pour that water into the mixing bowl. Yeast loves nice warm water. It gets the yeast up and running. Now dump in 2 tablespoons of dry active yeast. The next ingredient is 1/3 cup of granulated sugar. Now the sugar is going to feed the yeast you just added. So slide that in there. The yeast is going to love that sugar. Now it's time for the powdered milk. You're going to dump in 1/3 cup of non-fat dry powdered milk. The other ingredients you're going to add are 1/2 cup of vital wheat gluten. Wheat bran is the next thing that's going into the mixing bowl. This is going to add a nice texture to the rolls. Whole wheat flour is being added next. So slide in 2½ cups of whole wheat flour. Okay, so far you've added the healthy stuff. So now it's time for the white bread flour. You're going to need 3 cups. Now for the butter. You're going to be using 1/4 cup of unsalted butter. Just drop it in. You need to add 3 tablespoons of white vinegar. This is going to take out that harsh wheat flavor. Now to the bowl, add 2 teaspoons of kosher salt. Place the mixing bowl on the mixer. The dough is going to be mixed for 12 minutes on low speed using a dough hook. You don't want to go off and leave the mixer running all by itself, as you have to make sure you have the right amount of water and flour. This is not the time to be checking your email or Facebook. After running 4 minutes, you can check and see if the amount of water and flour are right. I'm stopping the mixer and checking. It looks like the dough is going to need some more water. I have 1/4 cup of warm water. I'm going to add about 1/2 of this cup to start with. I'm going to run the mixer and see if that's enough. You have to be careful not to add too much water. You can see that this looks like too much water. The dough is sticking to the sides of the bowl and the dough looks way too wet. I'm using some of my magic and slowing down the mixer so you can see the sides of the bowl and what the dough is looking like at this point. I've made these rolls enough times to know that it's going to work out just fine. Keep an eye on the bowl. I'm not going to make you watch the remaining 8 minutes of mixing. I'm jumping ahead. See how the dough isn't sticking any longer? This water we added was just the right amount. Oh, it looks like some dough is trying to escape. Get back in the bowl. Dough, you need to get back in the bowl so you can get kneaded. Around and around in the mixer the dough goes. Where it stops, nobody knows. Oh, it looks like it's going to stop here. The 12 minutes have passed. The dough is kneaded and ready to take a little rest. I'm going to press down the dough and cover it with a towel. I like to place it on the top of the stove. If you're not comfortable with placing the dough on top of the stove, another good spot is on top of the refrigerator. Any warm, draft-free place is fine. The dough needs about 1 hour to rise. You should check on it often, as it could be sooner or it may take a little longer. Okay, now this is a time where you want to watch the dough close, real close. Now look close. Are you looking close? Poof! The dough has risen. I'm warming the board in the oven. I have the oven set to 170 degrees. I'm leaving the board in the oven for about 10 minutes, just enough time to get the board nice and warm for the dough. The dough is going to love being turned out onto this nice warm board. You can tell that the dough has risen enough when you poke your finger in it and it wants to collapse onto its own self. Place some whole wheat flour on the board. Now turn out the dough onto the board. Divide the dough into half. Place 1/2 back in the bowl and cover it with a towel. I'm using a scale to measure out the rolls. I'm going to make each roll 2½ ounces. This is going to make the rolls the perfect size. You don't need a scale. However, I find using the scale, the rolls stay nice and uniform to give them that store-bought look. 1/2 of the dough is going to make 12 rolls. When all 12 rolls are formed, then it's time to place them in a baking pan. I use these steam table pans. You can find them in places such as Costco, Sam's Club. They work perfect for these rolls. Take a pan, spray it with some non-stick spray on the bottom and the sides. Cover the pan with a towel and put it back in your warm spot. Do the same with the second pan. They're going to rise. It should take anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. These rolls set for 1 hour. You can see how much they've risen. Now they look perfect and they're ready for their first bake. You don't want to bake these rolls all the way. Spray them with some spray. Place them uncovered in a preheated oven of 300 degrees. You only want to bake these rolls from, say, 12 to 15 minutes. You're just baking them a little, getting them firm. These rolls baked for 15 minutes and started to get brown. They should have come out sooner. Place them on a cooling rack and allow them to cool for 2 hours or longer. Then you can cover them with a metal lid. You can keep these rolls in the refrigerator for several days or in the freezer for up to 3 months. To finish cooking them, take the rolls out of the fridge or freezer several hours before you want to bake them. Preheat the oven to 375 degrees and bake them uncovered for 17 minutes or until golden brown. Serve them with plenty of butter in your favorite meal. I'm sure they are good for soaking up some gravy. So there you have it. Now you know how to make whole wheat brown and serve rolls. I hope you'll make some soon, as they're easy to make and they taste great. Remember what they say, you are what you eat, so eat healthy. Until next time, I'm the Big Easy Chef.